Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, JV, coming to you live on this Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. And I wanted to record this video because over the weekend I actually watched a rally of former President Donald Trump that took place in the state of Nevada. And I was absolutely baffled and completely dumbfounded by the fact that there were so many elderly people there that were standing in 110-degree temperature, soaking wet with perspiration, cheering this guy on while he was insulting them, telling him that he didn't care about them, that all he needed from them was their vote, and basically treating them like disposable trash, like a disposable plastic bag trash. And it just baffles my mind what is going on with a certain portion of the population, American population, that is so infatuated with such a despicable human being like Donald Trump is. I just don't understand what's the fascination with a guy that really stands for nothing. A man who didn't do absolutely nothing in his term, in his 4-year term as a president, aside from lowering the taxes or providing a tax cut for the billionaire class in this country, which is the 1%ers, or not even 1%, it's probably less than that, probably 0.00001% of the population of this country. That was really the highlight of his 4-year term as a president. He didn't do anything for middle-class individuals. He didn't do anything for low-income individuals, blue collars, who apparently is the voting bloc that actually supports him across the country, is the blue-collar workers that live in rural areas. He didn't do absolutely nothing for these people. And I just don't understand, how is it possible that people continue to support him to the point where he can actually win the election again in November. It's just incredible. And as I was watching the crowd that was cheering him on there, I noticed it looked more like a country club. It looked more like a country club than anything else. The overwhelming majority of the people in attendance were basically white people, middle-aged to elderly people, white people, that were just cheering him on. And it seems to me like his base has a certain limit. If you take a look at all the rallies that he goes to across the country, you hardly see any non-white people supporting him. You don't see any Latinos supporting him. You don't see any African Americans or Asians or Middle Easterns supporting him. It's predominantly a country club white group of individuals that support this man. And again, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any sense, I should say, why this guy gets so much support from a man that just clearly doesn't care about them. He even told them to their face. And instead of getting upset, instead of staying quiet or wondering, why is he insulting us in 110-degree temperature, they cheered him on. They cheered him on like mindless robots. It's just remarkable. And when you look at the polls are indicating right now that if the election were to be held today, on a Tuesday, June 11th, instead of being held on Tuesday, November the 5th, that more than likely Donald Trump would become the 47th president of the United States. Even though this guy is a convicted felon, he's a 2-time impeached president. He called veteran people suckers and losers. He basically mocked handicapped people in front of rallies that he had back in 2016 when he ran for the first time. He tried to overturn the will of 81 plus million Americans. Imagine that. 81 million people, 81 million plus people, this guy wanted to nullify their constitutional right to vote. He has been convicted, or he has been accused and convicted of being a sexual predator. He basically treats women like objects, basically telling media pundits that he can basically grab them by the pussy and nothing would happen to him because he's a celebrity and he can get away with it. Basically hates women. He hates Latinos. He hates me, for example. I'm a Mexican American, and he probably would deport me if he had an opportunity to do so. Calls us rapists and criminals and scumbags, and poisoning the blood of the country club supporting coalition of his followers, of his base. So this guy just, and I can go on and on and on and on. He's a despicable human being. So why is it that these individuals that support him, his base, why do they keep supporting him? Is it because he hates non-white people? Is it because he disparages gay people? He wants to take. He brags about taking rights of women's reproductive autonomy. Brags about taking that privilege away from them. I mean, this guy he stands for nothing positive. He absolutely doesn't stand for anything that's positive. So why has the United States lost its mind over a criminal like this individual? Any other candidate in the history of the United States that has ran for president that would do 1/10 of what this guy has done would be automatically disqualified from ever becoming president of the United States. If you remember back in 2004, Howard Dean, who was a Democratic candidate, who was actually leading in the polls, and according to a lot of pundits, he was on track to becoming the nominee for the Democratic Party and ultimately challenging George W. Bush for the presidency. If you remember, he was in a rally one time. I don't remember what state it was. And the guy got just fired up. He started yelling names of various states that his campaign was going to be winning, and the various primaries and caucuses. And because of this event, he basically lost the nomination. People saw that he was, perhaps they thought that he wasn't mentally stable. Maybe they thought that he was a lunatic for yelling and being excited about the election. He got disqualified for that. Imagine that. I mean, it's just crazy. Nothing seems to apply to Donald Trump. He can get away with anything, apparently. And people are still blindly supporting him, and they're going to be voting for him in November of this year. So just wanted to talk about this event because it really caught my attention. Watching poor elderly individuals getting scorched by the sun in 110-degree temperatures, and then the guy has the audacity to basically humiliate them and insult them by telling them that he doesn't care about them, that he only cares about the fact that they can vote for him, and that's it. It's mind-boggling, and yet they still support him. And there was even some of these people, by the way, were interviewed by the local media there in Las Vegas, and some of them actually said that they're willing to stand in 110-degree weather in order to support a man that they want to be president. They're willing to do anything for this man. So if this is not a cult, then I don't know what is. But I don't know what the outcome is going to be like in November. The polling is, I don't think the polling is wrong. I think that Joe Biden is in trouble because basically, more than anything, his age. It's unavoidable. He's 81 years old, and a lot of people don't think that he's going to make it if he were to win re-election for another 4 years. Now you got the Middle East crisis, you got inflation, everything is still pretty expensive. Things are pretty expensive for most Americans. So there's a lot of reasons to believe that the polls are pretty accurate. And then, of course, you got the issue of immigration. The issue of immigration, where a lot of Americans are discontent with the fact that supposedly, allegedly, there's people that are just pouring into the country through the southern border, which I don't buy it. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, people cross the border, pretty much have been doing this for decades. It hasn't gotten any better and it hasn't gotten any worse. And for them to claim that the borders are completely wide open and that people are coming in like nothing is outrageous, it's preposterous, and I don't buy it for 1 second. But apparently a lot of Americans do. A lot of Americans believe that this is exactly what's happening, and that's one of their main issues as to why they're going to support Donald Trump. But I mean, it's we're living in some crazy, insane Twilight Zone type of times, and that really caught my attention. I couldn't believe that anybody would support a man that would insult him by telling him that he doesn't care. In their faces, he told them this, that he only cares about their vote, and they cheered him on. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you're a Trump supporter and you get offended, I don't give a fuck. You can get offended all you want. I'm just speaking my mind and speaking the truth. Truth to power.